Okay, so I did my best to film while I was on the resort, but with two kiddos it was kind of hard, so I'm just going to do a voiceover about our experience, the good, the bad, and to give you guys tips for your vacation if you are going to vacation at beaches, Turks and Caicos. So first of all, the water here is beautiful, like stunning. Definitely one of the main reasons to go to Turks and Caicos is for the beautiful beach. I definitely recommend to do a sunset swim on the beach one day, and just a heads up, if you decide to do this, there's no restaurant you can go and eat at during dinner time with your bathing suits on and a cover up or anything. So if you do this, you can get takeout and bring it to the beach, have a picnic on the beach, or maybe do an early dinner and then bring your bathing suits and change back into your bathing suits after you eat, because we made the mistake of trying to go eat after we did this. The kids had the best time doing the sunset swim at the beach, and bringing them on vacation kind of taught me to relax more and just go with the flow, and you don't need to get dressed up and look fancy every night for dinner. I just wanted to make sure that they were having the best time and to create these memories that we'll have forever. And I'm so glad that we took the vacation with them. I could never leave them behind. I would just miss them so much and think about all the things that they could have been doing with us on vacation and having fun. I got this travel beach toy set off of Amazon, and it was one of the best purchases. They had so much fun with the set. They can make like fake ice creams and stuff with it. All of the bars open up at 10 o'clock. I would make the mistake of trying to go get a drink at like 9 because we've been up since 6 with the kids. I wish they opened up earlier, but no, 10 o'clock. And they make cute non-alcoholic drinks for the kids. This was jungle juice, it was called, and the kids loved it. The kids would take a nap after being on the beach all day long.
Yeah, I want to see Elmo, and Abby.
You love Elmo and Abby?
Yeah.
Offer golf cart rides to take you around the resort because it is so big, and you could just call down and ask for one to take you. The resort has so many Sesame Street activities, and almost every night there is a 6:30 show for Sesame Street, and the show is usually different every night.
Oh, Oscar hasn't gone yet. Maybe it should be his turn.
My turn.
I'm not gonna lie, I was horrible at filming the food when we would go and eat because it's just hard with the kids because I have to make sure that they're eating, but I try to get a little bit of it. Look at the views, you cannot beat the views. We did the water park so much during this trip. The kids had a blast running around on the splash pad. There were some things they couldn't do unless you're like a bigger, older kid, but there was activities for every age. But this resort was amazing for the water park and the beach. They have the lazy river too, which we all went on and enjoyed. I didn't bring my phone or camera on it because I didn't want to drop it in there, but lazy river was so much fun for all of us to go in. I brought Elena's float boat. If you have a baby, make sure that you bring them their own float and just inflate it when you get to the resort because they don't have the floats for the babies to go in. And I brought Abby swimmies with us. Just for reference, so you know how old my kids were, Elena just turned 1 a few weeks before we went, so she was almost 13 months old. And then Abby was a few weeks from turning 4. I had my husband take a few photos of me and the girls before we had our professional photo shoot, which of course we bought a bunch of pictures from. And here's the pricing of the photo shoots, just so you know how much they are, but totally worth it. This was our first beaches experience, but Sandals and Beaches are like the same company, but Beaches allows kids and Sandals is adult only. So just a little background, so when I start getting into comparing the different resorts, you know why. There's breakfast at Schooners. I think that's how you pronounce it. It looks good. It was alright. Sandals, everyone that we've been to, the breakfast was phenomenal. This, not good. Like the pancakes might look good on video, but they were not at all good. Here's Alex's food. Sandals was just phenomenal food, and this was not on Sandals level at all. This dive truck just was a bar and had drinks. And then We walk a little bit further, it's going to be the Jamaican jerk truck, which the food was good off of there. As you walk a little bit further, there is the Aqua Center where you're signing up for activities like the glass bottom boat, which we didn't get to do. And they said you have to wait in a line at like 6:30 in the morning the day before you want to sign up in hopes that you will make it on the list for that day. My husband had to wait twice. First time he got cut off in front of him because it was filled up for the next day. So then the next day at 6:30 again, he waited in a long line for an hour. So he booked us for the next day. So we go 30 minutes before to wait to get onto the glass boat. We didn't get to go on it because they said it was broken down, and we were leaving the next day. So I think this resort needs to figure out a better way to sign people up for activities, because that obviously wasn't fair. And at no other sandals resort were you told to wait in line at 6:30 in the morning the day before you want to go. Like, we did it in Barbados, and we were able to sign up whenever, and we got to do the glass boat there. The kids were so disappointed, well, Abby was, because she understands, that she didn't get to go on the boat. So that really sucked, and such a waste of time for Alex. Twice in the morning, waiting in over an hour long line for that. The workers were not helpful at all. Like, they could really care less about what happened. Here is lunch at Neptune's, and it is one of the better places to eat lunch for. But literally every single restaurant you go to, even if you are one of the first people there, everyone, you are waiting a while for your food to come out. Which, let's face it, that is not ideal with kids, because you only have so long of them sitting and waiting before like they want to get up and get out. Like, kids don't stay still that long. That was one of my biggest complaints with this resort, was how slow it took for food to come out. Even, again, like I said, if you were the first one sitting waiting, they just moved so slow, and they, like, all the workers just needed to pick up the pace a little bit, because if you weren't one of the first people to sit down at dinner, you were waiting to be seated then for a while. That, what I just showed, was the ice cream truck over by the water park. Loved that ice cream. Besides the food coming out really slow, my other complaint about this resort is it was like super hard to find smiling faces. I felt like all the workers were miserable. I don't know if this is like a post-COVID thing, but every Sandals that we've been to before, you were treated like royalty there. Like Sandals Grenada, everybody was smiling and would go out of their way always to help you, be like, hi, how are you? Here, miserable. They all looked like they were in misery and they were being held captive there. Like, it was so odd to me. Like, I know the service industry, it sucks, right? But you're going to work and you gotta put on a fake smile at the end of the day, because we are vacationing here and it is your job. So it was just weird. I guess the only other place I've been to is Sandals Bahamas, where they weren't as happy, but it was not anywhere near as bad as this was. And I mean, there was a couple of smiling faces, but mostly misery. I dressed the kids up to take their pictures on the beach. Abby was Lilo, and then Alina was dressed up as Moana. I got these cute outfits off of Amazon. If you stayed at this resort or a different beaches resort, let me know your thoughts and everything on it. I just want to compare everybody else's experiences to our experience, but we did talk to a lot of people that felt the same way that we were. This was Bayside Restaurant, which was all the way in the Key West Village, which is far. But it was a buffet, and the thing I'm going to tell you about this right now is there's a million flies on the food because it's a buffet and it's open, and yeah. Abby was just literally having the time of her life here. She thought it was the best place ever. One of the things I want to add is I wish that I had a double stroller, because that's how much walking we did. So usually one of us was always carrying somebody. Here's Alina napping in my arms on the beach, and that's another thing. We just went with the flow every day. Usually the kids would just nap on the beach. Like, there was no going back to the room having them nap. We really created the best memories. And yes, traveling with kids is hard. All of these memories we created are so worth it, and they may not remember it, but I will forever. And me and Alex were both hardly ever on our phones. The only reason I would take out my phone was to take pictures or videos every once in a while. But so we were both disconnected from the internet and just enjoying and being super present, and it was just perfect. If you don't have kids though and you're looking for a vacation to relax, I would say just go to a sandals resort and not a beaches resort, just so you're in a more relaxing environment and there's not kids running around. But if you have family, then go right ahead, and beaches is perfect. The floaty boat that we brought for Alina, and this is the French Village pool, which is a lot calmer than, say, the Italian pool is. And there's a little splash pad for the kids too, so it's a nice pool. Here's more of a look around the French Village. I'm gonna post our specific room in a whole different video. These rooms don't have balconies. I like to have a balcony, but these didn't have that. And if I were to do this again, I would have got a ground level. The Mr. Mac truck, literally life-saving if you have kids. Here's the little kids swim up bar, which was by the water park on the other side. The water park's pretty big. One of the best ways that I can describe this resort, it was kind of like a stationary cruise, and I wouldn't compare a Sandals resort to that because I feel like they treated you so well at Sandals resort. So this vibe at this resort was giving me like cruise vibes. So pretty much the food being not so great and the service. Here is a view of the water park at night, and Bobby D's is one of the places that's open like really late at night. So if you're looking for a late night snack, again, this is supposed to be like a quicker food option, but they took a long time. I personally think they could do like revamping in here and update. Again, the workers in here didn't look too happy. I kind of felt like you were in like a dark basement at night. Like you could see from the pictures online, and then from being there, it felt like a totally different vibe, which is why I'm saying they could do some updating. There are 2 pizzerias on the resort, and again, during lunchtime, the pizzerias, we would see the wait go up to an hour and a half to get pizza as takeout. Like, that's crazy. A tip if you do have kids, because I don't know why on the kids menu for all the restaurants for dinner time, sometimes they would only have like 2 options for kids. So Alex would go and get the kids food from somewhere else. Like, we just got the kids pizza to bring to a restaurant so we could feed them pizza while me and him ate. This was at Soy. I forgot to film our actual sushi, but the spicy crunchy shrimp roll, really good. And I ordered all of our drinks at once because that's how like slow they are, and they don't really come back and ask you if you want seconds or anything. So I'm like, I'm just telling you everything I want right now. So that's another tip. Order everything as you sit down. Like, don't expect them to really come back and be like, can I get you anything else? Here's the Sesame Street parade, and then after the parade they have a Sesame Street party.
I paused it right there.
Abby, high five!
Abby, high five!
Oh, Abby!
Abby, good job, Abby, high five! Ah!
Look!
Oh! Oh! High five! High five! Yeah! Monster! High five, Cookie Monster! Abby, high five! Bird!
They actually had kids staying on the resort be part of the parade, and I just thought that was super cute to get them involved. This was Cafe de Paris, which was in the French Village, so it was nice and close to our hotel room. But they have lots of treats and stuff we would always stop by and grab before heading back to the room at night. And this is where we got milk for the kids. And if you ask them if you want a thing of milk to keep in your room for the kids, they'll give it. Their menu of hot and cold coffees you can get. I always got iced coffee. They have boards up around the resort showing different activities and things going on every single day. So make sure that you find these and check these out so you know to plan out your week. The grounds around the resort with the flowers and everything were kept beautifully. There's so many picture opportunities around the entire resort.
I've been feeling so small.
Here's Alex coming with our iced coffees. These things gave me life, and this was how I was able to survive on the trip. They were really good, but again, the service is so slow, so sometimes there's a line for this, but it's worth it. And these were at Cafe de Paris, and again, we'd grab the kids, like Abby would get chocolate milk and I'd get Elena regular milk. Here is the entrance to the water park, and then over here straight ahead would be like the shops, and if you make a left, this is the Italian Village, and the Italian Village was super crazy. Like the pool vibes are like a more party vibes. Every time we walked by here, I think the pool was just super crowded, and I wouldn't personally like that, but yeah, this is the Italian Village. I do think the Italian Village was in a good spot to be nearby everything, to be walking distance and not have to walk crazy amounts. I think the Italian Village and the Caribbean Village were good spots for that stuff. Like we were in the French Village, and I think it was further away, the furthest from the beach, and you did a lot of walking staying in the French Village, but it wasn't too far from the water park. You will come across a bunch of cats on the resort, and these are just for the resort to like keep control of mice and stuff, so that's why they're there, but Abby loved seeing the cats. We stayed for 6 days, 5 nights. I wish that we did an extra day. I just wanted another day to do things because there was so much to do at this resort, and it was a lot of fun. This was the French Village lobby, and we were just checking out. So when we were there, we noticed construction going on, and they looked like they were pretty far into it, and it'll probably open about next year, I'm thinking. But here is the new village that they're building at Beaches, Turks and Caicos. My take on this is you're making it even bigger when you can't really accommodate what you have going on now. Like how we couldn't even get on the glass bottom boat, so there's gonna be way more people. So I don't know how they're going to fix all of that, but here's a new village that they are building currently. And I do think that they need to update current villages, like the French Village. I think those rooms could use some updating. I'm not sure when they last updated them, but I think that they could do some upgrading with it. So before coming to the resort, I heard about Turks and Caicos Airport being extremely tiny, and like the lines for everything could get super long and dragged out. So I wanted to film my experience at the airport to show you guys. We left on a Saturday afternoon, and it wasn't too bad when we left. I thought it was going to be a lot worse. Here's Elena. She fell asleep on me to take a nap. There is a lot of outgoing flights. Like there's so many going out at once. So I think that's why it gets crowded, and we had to feed the kids. So here's some crappy airport pizza, and everything is super expensive because you have no options, and you gotta eat lunch or whatever before you leave. This is how crowded the room was. We lucked out and got seats, but you could see how crazy it gets. And then walking to the airplane, but look at all the airplanes like coming and going. It's a lot, so that's why it gets so crazy. Our flight from New York to Turks and Caicos and back was 3 hours exactly. I stressed myself out a lot about flying with the kids. I thought it was going to be a complete shit show of disaster, but it was absolutely fine, so I stressed myself out over nothing. So that was our trip, and look at that beautiful water. I miss it so much. It's so pretty.